Just because you can afford the payment of a vehicle does not mean you can actually afford that vehicle. And car guys unfortunately fall for this stuff all the time. They'll see a cool car for sale online and they'll start crunching the numbers and be like, oh, you know what? I could afford that monthly payment. However, that is not the full cost associated with owning that particular car. And I'm not just talking about additional costs like insurance or gas. That's pretty much a given. I'm talking about things like brakes, tires, routine repairs and maintenance. Another really good example of this is the Gen 3 Viper, particularly this one that recently sold on Cars and Bids for 35 grand. And you think to yourself, that is really tempting. You get a V10 monster with a manual transmission for $35,000. That's less than most of the new Camrys for sale. Until you're driving down the road, listening to that American V10 Symphony, and you end up hitting something and you crack the headlight. Dang, that sucks. And say if that happened to my Charger SRT8, for example, one OEM headlight cost about $800 to $900, which isn't cheap by any means, but it's nothing crazy. You kind of anticipate that whenever you own a car like that. However, on that Gen 3 Viper I just mentioned, one headlight cost $4,000. $4,000. That is insane. And if you have to replace both of them, you're essentially spending the same amount of money as if you would just go buy another random used car. So yeah, just because you can afford the payment on a car, can you actually afford whenever the car needs maintenance or when it breaks? That is always something you have to keep in mind when you're looking for your next vehicle, guys. Do not forget,